What are some life lessons you get from living in dorms? I'm a very introverted person, but I think anyone can relate to this. You don't really miss alone time until you can't get any. No matter how well you get along with your roommate, there are times when you just want some personal space and somewhere that's just yours to escape to. I was lucky enough to have a car for the last semester of on-campus living, and would routinely go for drives alone to get some space. Rural college. If I didn't have that, I might have gone insane. I did that all the time when I had 3 roommates. I stopped going for drives when I got my own apartment, but I never realized that I probably did it to get some alone time. Some parents never actually teach their children how to live like healthy humans. Some people have never cleaned a room, or never done it without being made to, have never done laundry, never cooked a meal or paid a bill. Some of them stop bathing entirely, despite pleading roommates and neighbors dealing with someone whose stench permeates everything they own and seeps through the walls and can be smelled in the room across the hall. Sometimes people will bang on your door at 2 AM to frick with you. Sometimes you will sit up till 4 AM with a baseball bat, waiting for them to do it again. You lose in both situations. I read that as 2 AM to F you, and was really confused about what the baseball bat was for. Open your window and really listen to the Chinese grad student who happens to be an exceptionally good whistler as he crosses the quad. Never again in your life will you hear someone whistle Debussy's Clair de Lune with as much beauty and skill. And always wear flip-flops in showers that are shared by the entire floor. Leave your door and your mind open and people will flock to you. I lived in the honors dorm as a freshman, in what we lovingly called the Tower of Screaming Virgins. Top floor, all female. Everyone on the honors track for something STEMmy. Everyone kept their doors shut and the hall was sterile and silent all year. But they told me at orientation to leave my door open if I wanted to make friends. So every day, I'd prop the door open and go about my business. Slowly, people started venturing in to hang out with me or just have a short conversation. I would always welcome it, and when I couldn't take people, I'd just close my door to be left alone. That whole year, I made friends I still talk to. This was 2012 to 2013, because they'd walk in off the stairwell, see my open door, and come in to say hi. Naturally, not everyone stayed. There's always friend turnover after the dorms. But I had a better time and felt really well liked and less homesick that way. I'm not a naturally friendly person and I tend to be standoffish at first, even shy. But I make friends everywhere because I learned in college that you can make the tiniest effort to invite people in and they'll go with both feet. Rule number 1 of dorms. Door open unless you are sleeping or really need to do school work. Make a ton of friends and have lots more fun. Do not be the first to use something if it's not yours and still in the plastic wrapper, or similar. Specifically, if it's my Xbox 360 copy of Spider-Man 3 that I bought back in 2007 on my lunch break and want to play after work. Phil. Sharing a shoebox-sized room with another person is terrible. Sharing it with her and her boyfriend who sleeps over every night is worse. My sophomore and junior years, I got a single, and I loved it. My own space, close to campus. After that I lived in apartments and having to drive around looking for open parking spots in lots far from campus, and then walking all the way to class in 6-degree weather I do not miss. I lived in a dorm my first year. Terrible freaking experience that inspired me to become an RA. Kept the job for 4 years and lived for free. Mind over balls boys. I shoulder bean in RA. Being able to live for free is pretty amazing for the amount of work that goes into it. Always have a secret stash of cleaning supplies hidden in your room. My flatmates go through kitchen roll and washing up liquid faster than the nematodes ate SpongeBob's house. Never leave your stuff out, no matter how small it is, unless you really trust your dorm partners and it's mutual. Build rapport, you'll need it, no matter how big-headed you are. Dorms make you humble. Crap, just remember that for the rest of your life. A thief can't steal a computer that they can't find. I never considered myself a neat freak until I moved into the dorms. My first roommate was so messy, you could see the divide in the room of my side versus hers. She constantly kept buying more stuff. Piles of books and clothes everywhere. I let her borrow my bowl once and it sat dirty on her desk with food in it for days. As a result, I kept my side of the room absolutely spotless, otherwise we would have drowned in filth. Funny though, come move out day, I was all packed and ready to go. So much so mom and I went shopping and bought some shoes and came back for some more boxes. The parents hadn't even dented the mess that was aside. Mom and I left laughing. I've been keeping things tidy ever since. Exact same experience here. I checked out of my dorm a week early and came back to turn in my key on the last day. The Great Divide had slowly found a way onto my side of the room. I just pushed everything back to her side and let the Ra clear me to leave. Best day of my life. Even if you like your roommate, make an agreement about responsibilities within the first week. Who cleans the bathroom when? Takes the trash out? Who gets what dresser, bookcase, desk? While I don't live in a dorm, I currently share a house with 17 other people, and lem tell you, just expect crap to get messed up. People are gonna miss rent. People are gonna be stupid and assume you get free gas electricity, then be surprised when it's suddenly cold with no power. People are gonna be loud and annoying when you just want to study. Just know that things will go wrong. So try not to take those things too seriously. You can stress AMD, get mad about a situation you can't change, or you can accept that situation and do your best to adapt. But living with other people teaches you how to stay sane amongst a bunch of idiots. How a rolled up towel under your door and exhaling pot smoke through a toilet paper tube with dryer sheets stuffed in it will prevent you from getting busted by your Ra. Our Ra gave us these tips. BTW. Definitely learn about compromise. I think in most freshman dorms you get paired up with somebody sight unseen and you gotta make it work. Pick your battles for sure. If your roommate tends to pile all of their clothes on the floor, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. You have to ask yourself if it's worth causing contention over, especially when you're barely even passing classes as it is. If you have to share a bathroom, always wipe the toilet seat before you sit down, no matter how sleepy you are or it's the middle of the night. Always check the seat, you never know what they did to it. Every morning I find freaking pee stain there. Every morning. I don't understand people who don't do it, and I don't live in a dorm. If you're using a public shower, shower with some shoes on. You just need to do it, even if it is uncomfortable. You will never know the horrors that the shower floor has seen. Jellyfish. We called it jellyfish in the Air Force. Roommates are freaking batshit. Constantly stealing my TP when I started taking it with me. She pee on my bath mat in front of the toilet. Vile humans. As much as you can avoid it, don't date on the same floor. I repeat, don't date on the same floor. You will regret if later when you constantly see that person when you two break up. Nah, hook up with everyone you can and walk through the hall like the true king queen of the dorms you are. Some people aren't suited to living with others. Some can change and adapt, others will continue living like they did at home where the magical cleaning fairly cleans everything for them. Was in Ra for 3 years. Here's my advice. For the dorms and life. Don't leave the microwave running unattended. Make friends with people in other dorms locations for when there are fire alarms or other emergencies. Check to make sure you have your keys with you before you leave, even if it's just go to the bathroom down the hall. Everywhere you go, check to make sure you have your wallet, keys, and phone, or whatever would be extremely inconvenient if you lost. You don't have to be best friends with your roommate. A quiet roommate is better than a fun one that lied about his felony record. Same goes for neighbors, co-workers, and more. Keep a regular schedule and share it with your roommates so you don't walk in on each other masturbating. Meet your needs and allow others to meet theirs. Don't offer someone to use your stuff if they never offer their stuff to you. Also, don't lie about your habits because you can only keep up the facade for so long. Sooner or later, someone's gonna get mad. Community bathrooms are the worst. You will question humanity come Sunday evening if the cleaning crews don't work the weekends. Toilets full of vomit and or fesses because some drunk goon was had too much or doesn't think being a member of civilized society applies to him. Sinks are backed up because people don't dump leftover food scraps in the trash and not down a drain that doesn't have a garbage disposal. Garbage left in the showers because people are too lazy to throw away boxes, razors, and shampoo bottles. Use the rec center on Sunday to avoid these horrors. Laundry is a giant pain. There are generally equal number of washers and dryers and it normally takes twice as long to dry than it does to wash, assuming your load is not overfilled and it tasks multiple drying cycles. If you are not there when your load stops, people will pile it on the table and you are stuck waiting longer. Don't try and do laundry on the weekend. Weeknights in the middle of the day it was usually not busy. Bonus points if you get a job working the front desk of security in your dorm, then you can do it then. Getting a collapsible drying tack and a fan for your room helps too. Don't bring your entire wardrobe to school. The more clothes you have, the longer you will go before washing. You can cycle out clothes when you go home for a weekend. Get used to studying with noise. If you are friends with your roommate before you move in together, there is a very high chance that you will not be friends after the year has ended. It may seem hard to believe, but it is very common. If you intend to stay friends with someone, living in a dorm with them might not be a great idea. On the other hand, living in a dorm with a complete stranger can be a great way to learn how to get along with a person who is completely different than you, and it's also a great way to meet new people. In what I've seen, it either kills the friendship or makes it 1,000,000x stronger. Nothing in between. If the dorm you live in doesn't make any effort to try to pair up roommates based on like interests and personality, you're going to be in for a very bad time. Also, if you attend a college in the tropics and they don't bother to put air conditioning in the rooms, you need to invest in fans. Lots and lots of fans. Heck, my MN dorm room didn't have AC and it was heck in the fall and spring. Hey, 18-year-olds today are a lot different than 20 years ago, so I don't know if anything I experienced is still valid today. Saying that, keep your butt clean, mother. 18-year-olds didn't exist 20 years ago. Checkmate. If you're on bunk beds and your roommate comes home in the middle of the night while you're asleep with a girl guy and they frick around on the other bunk, don't assume you know her name when you wake up the next day. Wait to see them before you say their name. Hi Becca. Who is Becca? Oops. Sometimes people don't have the mental capacity to be able to flush a toilet, even if you tape a WikiHow article over the goddamn toilet on how to flush your crap. Lived in army barracks. People are disgusting. Some people just cannot keep themselves or their room livable. Don't get involved in your roommate's personal life if they don't want it. I watched a lot of men and women grow from friends to sworn enemies over as little as commenting on someone, so don't frick your roommate's GFBF. Dorms are like boot camp for introverted people. All in all a good experience, but frick me if it wasn't rough at the beginning. Positive life lesson. If you want to make friends, you need to keep your door open. Negative life lesson. People misrepresent themselves to get things they want. For example, my college had a little form you could fill out about your interests and lifestyle, which they used to match you to other freshmen and hopefully find you a compatible roommate. The form was sent with a ton of other orientation materials, so you can bet that parents saw it and even helped their little darlings fill it out. My roommate, and probably her mother, said that of course, she doesn't smoke, so she got matched with me, a person who actually does not smoke. The girl had a nearly pack a day habit. While she didn't smoke in the dorm itself, all her clothes and things smelled like smoke. It was hard to bond with her because she had to leave conversations parties every 10-15 minutes to go outside to smoke. This was not a new habit. She was either trying to hide her bad habit from her parents, or she fully knew that by choosing non-smoker that she would get a non-smoking roommate, which might be more desirable for a number of reasons, including a short-lived fantasy that by living with a non-smoker that I would somehow inspire her to not smoke as much. Anyway, it was a valuable lesson in self-interest and sticking up for myself. Oh heck no. Tobacco smoke give me migraines, and I can sniff that crap like a bloodhound. She'd be reported day one. I ain't living with that. Having the nicest bong in your building is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because people will come by to get high all the time, but it's a curse because people will come by to get high all the time. Don't live with your super close friends. No matter how much you love them, you will soon despise them. Also, 2 of my roommates have sensory issues and can't handle scented products, so we can't use air freshener or anything like that. And of course, they both stink, and I can't do anything about it. Make really clear right away what spaces are yours. I share a room within a dorm suite, and our only communal area is the bathroom. So everyone hangs out in my room, biggest, and I have a TV. Even when I'm not involved in the hanging out and trying to do homework, have roommates that do stuff and don't just sit around all the time. You'll legit never get a minute to yourself if they're always around. TLDR. Same roommate for 4 years and I am done. I am actually excited to move back into my parents' basement. I've always felt that dorms were social experiment and somewhere, secretly, master's students are studying the dormers. You definitely do not have to be friends to be a good roommate. Freshman year got paired up with a random student. We were both clean, quiet and respectful of each other's stuff, space and time. We were friendly towards each other, but at no point would I have ever said we were friends. But damn it if he wasn't the best roommate I ever had. Invest in a good set of headphones. You never know what kind of butthole you'll live next to. My neighbors party Thursday, Saturday and start in their dorms blasting music till 11 PM before heading out. The rest of the week they just stay up talking in their rooms, where I can hear them since my bed is up against the wall. Not to mention that the walls in general are a bit thin, so even if they are talking at normal volume, you can still hear every word. You may be the kindest, most pacifistic person alive, but you'll still kill the mother who pulled the fire alarm at 3 AM on a snowy night if you ever find them. Sometimes no matter how nice or even neutral you try to be, you are not going to be liked by everyone. I was generally pretty nice, but 4 strangers living together can be doomed for failure. I sometimes pass one of my former roommates on campus and I just look away ASAP and get bad memories for a while. I learned how to construct a bottom bunk tent fort for sexy times. I had a triple. At least once a week one of us would be having sex while the other slept, played video games. Seems weird now that I think about it. I learned how to be a quiet lover and also that I prefer not to be a quiet lover. If you magically realize you're a hardcore extrovert because you're raging with positive energy every time you get back to the dorms, know that not everyone else is riding your high. Make many friends and cycle through them with your presence accordingly so that you don't wear out anyone too much. If you are going to smoke something, be kind. Open a window or go outside. Not everyone can handle skunky weed smell or your super perfumed vape crap. As a dude who'd struggled with loneliness all his life, I was actually living with other people, but I know I was lucky because you can't predict who you will live with and whether they get along with all of you. I think it made me realize the importance of socializing and trying to actively ask to meet people. How to conserve snacks. Garlic salt goes on your Easy Mac. How to smoke a lot of weed. Ethernet cables are your friend. Frick bunk beds. Sweet mates are always on some different crap. Masturbation becomes unique. Dude, I had a roommate that snacked on their own saved up nail clippings. Not kidding. So brace yourself, it's very possible you'll get assigned a Looney Tune. That colleges will do literally anything to make more money out of students, who they view as little more than a revenue stream. 1. Wipe the toilet seat after. 2. Don't leave your stuff out everywhere. 3. Don't wipe your butt with your roommate's Elle Macpherson poster while drunk. Those were the big ones for me. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.